Big name there. So, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on the new cards. First of the new spoilers, and it's not really new, this was spoiled during the February WCQ, is Smolder Scaled Dragon. This feels like a weaker Scorchmane Dragon. Honestly, I think I would just rather have Scorchmane instead of this guy at every level. Its rank 1 and 2 do gain an effect with its board-wide damage, and I have undervalued board-wide damage in the past. Firebrand Invoker is a lot stronger than I gave it credit for when it first came out. That having been said, Firebrand Invoker has the ability to trigger multiple times per turn and has a lot of synergy. This guy's only going to trigger once per turn. It's at the end, so you can't do it pre-combat to clear out blockers. I don't see this being better than Scorchmane Dragon. And it's not going to take the spot of Frostmane in a lot of decks, so I don't really see this seeing a lot of play. It's an awesome looking card. I really appreciate the art, and I like the idea behind it, but I don't think it's going to be a top tier legendary. The second of the new spoilers is the effect of structures. Immortal Echoes. At the end of this turn and your next turn, put a level 2 or lower creature that died this game into a random spot. So it's Varnus Pact, but it's spread out over 2 turns and starts at 2 creatures instead of starting at 1 creature. However, it is soft level gated, so you can only get a rank 2 creature from the rank 1 instead of getting a rank 3 in player level 3 with a rank 1 Varnus Pact, which is utter garbage when you play against it. Its rank 2 is unlevel gated, exact same effect. What is really interesting here, though, is its rank 3. At the end of each of your turns, period, put one of your creatures that died this game into a random space. That's available random space. So the rank 3 means for the rest of the game, you will get a free random creature every turn. That's pretty remarkable. Now, of course, you have no control over it, but that's still pretty remarkable. I don't know how much play this will see or not. It's actually something I'm contemplating in my head right now, trying to figure out. I could start to see decks that run Varnus Pact and Immortal Echoes and then just play big creatures. We've already seen that with the Varnus Pact decks. I think it gets even worse with this. And this actually might be good enough combined with Varnus Pact to see Tarsus make a comeback. Even in his nerf state where he doesn't get to buff himself to insanity, I definitely see Tarsus coming back into the meta with this guy. Varnus Pact deck has fallen off. This plus Varnus Pact give you 2 amazing ways to drop creatures into play. And I'm looking forward to experimenting with this card. I'm also curious to see how the interface is going to work. When you get this extra effect on you, there almost has to be some way for your opponent and you to see what effects you have. One last thought is to start thinking about the fact that this thing would appear to stack with itself. So if you have 2 of these rank 3 played, you get 2 creatures every turn. And it gets worse from there. So I'll just leave that to ponder on. I could see someone where you go drop Tarsus, Immortal Echoes. Next turn, Varnus Pact, and Immortal Echoes, and get Tarsus buffs on 4 creatures. All with level 1 cards. I think that's going to be pretty interesting, and I look forward to playing it. The third of the new cards that were spoiled is Leyline Tyrant. Leyline, as a creature in and of itself, isn't terribly exciting. 3/9, 6/13, 9/17. Not great stats. Its attack grows slightly too fast. It grows almost immediately out of Werewood Patriarch range. However, it is very much worth noting its text. Ambush is almost certainly a mechanic that says when this card is in your hand and the ambush trigger is fulfilled, or whenever the requirements for ambush are fulfilled, do the stuff in the... I don't know how it's exactly going to be phrased, but basically if you have this card in hand and whatever the condition is that triggers it, it happens. And you don't have to worry about playing it. It's Magic's reactionary spells, and Hearthstone doesn't have reactionary spells, but a way to put reactions in your deck so that things happen on your opponent's turn, even if you are passively playing during your opponent's turn. I think that's a really awesome take on the counterspell type mechanic. I don't think we're going to see hard removal in this form. I think that would go too far. But I like the idea of this guy when you get a random creature or a non-hand creature play, building on Justicar's effect. I really expect, I don't know if it'll be in the first set or one of the mini expansions, to see an ambush creature with Arbiter's effect. When your opponent plays, I don't know if you can do it with the Arbiter effect exactly, because your opponent's always going to play 2 spells. That just means it's a free play guaranteed. But when your opponent, something like when your opponent plays the third card in a turn, something happens, and it's really, really bad. To punish all those decks that do Duskmaw and get at their free plays and tracker decks. All the decks that everybody complains about that can cheat will have to take a long, hard look if you've got something like a 10-10 with Ambush that says this card cannot be played from your hand. Ambush. When your opponent plays their third card in a turn, put this card into play in an available random space. That might be a bit much, but something really strong like that. I very, very firmly believe that will happen. And that will try to discourage those cheating decks that get more than 2 plays a turn. And will be complete garbage against any deck that is not playing multiple cards per turn. But that is it. Those are the 3 cards that have been spoiled. Justin Gary put up a little challenge to try and figure out what the other structure spells are. This one is obviously the Varna effect. I'm not quite sure what to think the other ones would be. I don't really think it's going to be their creature effect, because that's targeting a creature. It's not a global effect. It's easy to say that Tempest would deal damage to your opponent this turn and next, but that's really kind of underwhelming. Same goes with Utera and Life Gain, and also if that were true, that would be terrifying for the Wagyu deck, and I don't want to think about that. But I'm trying to come up with something. Maybe the Utera one is put a plant token into lanes. The Alolan one could be, at the end of your turn, discard and level a card at random. But that's very weak at level 1. So it really has to get to level 3 to be effective, and then at level 3 it doesn't work out so well because you don't, by the time you're at level 3 you should already have the cards leveled that you want leveled. You're not looking to level more. So I'm not really sure what the other 3 of these will be. But I'm definitely looking forward to finding out. And that concludes my review of the 3-card spoiler. And now I can highlight that and go see what everybody is talking about. Yeah, Heroes Kage. I think Immortal Echoes looks pretty good too. Yeah, Hearthstone does have secrets, but you see those coming at least. They're telegraphed because you have to play them ahead of time.